This is a true story. A paralyzed elderly man and a dog, together for 10 years, the dog spent its whole life protecting the old man, until it passed away. This story has touched millions of viewers. It is called Silent Devotion. Old Yu is a high-level paraplegic who has been disabled for over 30 years, bedridden, and always cared for by his elderly mother. After his elderly mother passed away, he lost the will to live as well. His temper grew worse and worse. He cursed all day long and never showed a kind face to anyone. Until one day, a stray puppy wandered into his room. Seeing the dog, Old Yu started cursing again. Unexpectedly, the dog had quite a backbone and barked back at him on the spot. Seeing that the dog wasn't welcomed by the eldest brother, the younger brother and his wife locked it in the goose pen. The geese in the countryside are fierce fighters, and the puppy was chased around yelping non-stop. Hearing the dog's cries, Old Yu was reminded of the past. Back then, in order to earn money to get married, he would go into the lake in the dead of winter to dig up lotus roots. His legs went numb from the cold, and he struggled in the lake. But no matter how much he cried for help, no one came to save him. As a result, his legs were badly damaged by the cold, and he ended up bedridden for over 30 years. Now, the dog's situation was exactly like his own back then. Hearing the dog's pitiful cries, his heart softened. His sister-in-law teased him. Why not send the dog to the butcher? At least it could nourish someone. Old Yu stubbornly replied. Old Yu felt deeply saddened. Abandoned by fate, barely scraping by for half his life, he never imagined another living creature could be abandoned by him. He just couldn't do it. So, the dog stayed. That day, Old Yu was drawing blueprints when his pen suddenly fell to the floor. He tried hard to reach for it, but no matter how he stretched, he just couldn't get it. At that moment, the little dog came over. Old Yu chuckled, surprised at how clever the dog was. He wanted to reward it with a steamed bun, but stubbornly said instead, That night, as wind and rain raged outside, Old Yu was sleeping soundly, when suddenly the candle was blown over by the wind, threatening to start a fire. Fortunately, the little dog sensed the danger and started barking loudly. Old Yu was startled awake and managed to put out the fire just in time. You could say the little dog saved Old Yu's life. Soon, the dog became part of the family. During the day, Old Yu helped his neighbors repair small appliances to earn some pocket money, fixing things while playing music. Unexpectedly, the little dog started singing along. Annoyed, Old Yu stuffed a stinky sock in its mouth to shut it up. Old Yu gave the dog a great name, Erhuo. He said, only the silly ones know how to live well. In Old Yu's heart, he hoped Erhuo would live a good life. Of course, he was stubborn and just wouldn't say it out loud. With Erhuo's company, Old Yu's mood improved a lot. He and the dog became more and more in sync, and whatever happened, he would only talk to the dog about it. Soon, the puppy grew into a big dog. Old Yu lay on his self-designed hand-powered tricycle. He was excited. After 30 years in bed, he could finally go outside and see the sun. With this tricycle, Old Yu decided to go to the town market to set up a stall and repair appliances to earn money. But business was not going well. The vendor reminded him, to do business you must call out to customers. Old Yu opened his mouth but couldn't call out. A whole day passed. Packing up, he finally got a job to repair a TV. Meanwhile, it was the first time the dog was separated from its owner. It missed him so much it couldn't eat, waiting by the door for Old Yu to come home. At dusk, the dog suddenly looked up and grinned, then took off running at full speed. It turned out, even from 3 miles away, it caught Old Yu's scent and ran off to greet him. In the evening, Old Yu repaired the TV while sharing stories from town with Erhuo. At that moment, Old Yu felt as if he had been reborn. The next day, as usual, Old Yu asked his younger brother to take him to set up his stall. But the dog couldn't rest easy. It quietly followed along, stopping every so often before continuing on. They finally arrived at the market, and Old Yu was about to set up his stall. But the shop owner behind him wasn't having it and spoke to him very rudely. Hey, if you want a bed, go somewhere else. Don't block my entrance. How am I supposed to do business? Seeing its owner bullied, the dog immediately rushed over. The shop owner backed down. Why was this dog so fierce? To not block the shop owner's business, Old Yu had no choice but to move his stall to a more secluded spot. At that moment, he suddenly remembered he forgot to bring the TV he repaired yesterday. What should he do? His younger brother wasn't around, so he had no choice but to ask Erhuo to take him home. Old Yu struggled to ride, and the dog stayed by his side the whole way, until they came to an arched bridge. With that slope, old Yu simply didn't have the strength to get up. Just at that moment, the friendly dog came over to offer its help and assistance. The dog grabbed the rope in its mouth and pulling and dragging all the way, successfully brought its owner home. From then on, Erhuo became old Yu's coachman. During the day, it pulled its owner to the market, and in the evening, it brought him back home. In the blink of an eye, spring turned to autumn, and several years passed by in a flash. Erhuo always stayed by old Yu's side, never leaving him for a moment. The place they visited most often was the lakeside, where old Yu would frequently chat with his dog. One day, it was the girl he used to like. In fact, Erhuo also had a girl he liked, and that was Xiaobai. But Lao Yu thought that what he really liked was the bell on Xiaobai, and he wanted to buy one for Erhuo too. He didn't expect that a bell would cost dozens of yuan, so he decided to save up some money before buying one. That day, Lao Yu was bored waiting for business when suddenly a human trafficker appeared in front of him, trying to abduct a child. Erhuo sensed something was wrong and started barking loudly. Lao Yu also realized something was off, so the man and the dog rushed forward together and successfully saved the child. The story of Lao Yu and Erhuo saving the child quickly spread. That day, a luxury car stopped next to the stall, and a rich second-generation young man got out. He was there specifically for Erhuo. He said this dog is a purebred Labrador. Unexpectedly, Lao Yu replied,
我可不知道他拉得多拉得少，我就知道他聪明听话。
The rich young man wanted to buy Erhuo for a high price, saying that with him, the dog would live a life of luxury. But Lao Yu refused.
要不你问问他，他喜欢钱还是喜欢我呀？你问问。
The rich young man was unwilling to give up. Before leaving, he gave his contact information to Lao Yu, but Lao Yu didn't pay much attention to it. He had never thought about selling Erhuo. Unexpectedly, an accident happened. Lao Yu's younger brother was in a car accident, and the surgery fees drained the family's savings. His sister-in-law said they've borrowed money from everywhere they could, but now they don't even have enough for the hospital bills, and they're still short 4,000 for the child's college tuition. She wanted Lao Yu to sell the dog to help out a bit, but Lao Yu refused immediately. His sister-in-law became anxious.
这日子让我怎么过呀？人面前他比狗命还贱。
Listening to his sister-in-law crying outside, Lao Yu fell silent. The next day, he groomed Erhuo's fur, bought a bell, and personally hung it around its neck. As he stroked Erhuo, his face was full of reluctance. The rich kid handed Lao Yu a bundle of cash, but Lao Yu counted it and only took 4,000. He choked up as he spoke.
我不是卖。
Before leaving, Erhuo kept looking back at old Yu, as if begging not to be abandoned. But old Yu didn't dare to look back. He was overwhelmed with shame. Under the crushing weight of life, he had no choice but to sell the dog. Watching Erhuo's figure fade into the distance, old Yu felt as if he had lost everything. Others worried for him and asked why he was selling the dog. He replied,
二户啊，跟着我这么多年，吃不好睡不好，还得照顾我这个残老头，苦没少吃，罪也没少遭，委屈他呀。
Yes, Erhuo is quite old now too. This loyal and hard-working animal pulled old Yu's heavy cart for a full 10 years, faithfully staying right by his side for an entire decade. And old Yu also deeply wants to give this beloved companion a truly peaceful and comfortable old age. On the long journey home, old Yu thoughtfully looked at that familiar steep slope and vividly remembered how Erhuo, with its youthful energy, looked the very first time it bravely pulled the cart up that challenging incline. That night, he gave the money to his sister-in-law. She felt bad about it, but for the sake of making a living, he had no choice but to accept. After losing his dog, old Yu once again lost his will to live, and within a few days, he seemed to have aged a lot. He still went to the lakeside every day, only now Erhuo was no longer by his side, and the dog was also missing its owner. The rich kid gave it a villa to sleep in, but it longed for that waterfall-patterned blanket. He bought it imported dog food, but Erhuo wouldn't eat a single bite. It would rather have the steamed cornbread its owner used to feed it. One day, Erhuo suddenly looked up as if it sensed something. It decided to go back and find Lao Yu, so it ran wildly all the way, using its memory to search for the path home. When it got hungry, it would rummage through trash on the roadside, and when it grew tired, it would find an overpass to sleep for a while. It traveled tirelessly day and night. One day, while it was looking for food in a pile of trash, a group of nearby dogs suddenly surrounded it. In that instant, Erhuo was bitten and left covered in wounds. But after only a brief rest, it continued on its journey. It was determined to find Lao Yu. On this day, Lao Yu came to the lakeside as he always did when suddenly he heard the sound of a bell. He turned his head to look. After running for so long, it simply couldn't run anymore. For 10 years it had served as a cart puller for its master, but now it was the master's turn to pull it home. With tears in his eyes, Lao Yu cleaned Erhuo's body, and he even let the dog sleep on the bed. From now on, you will sleep right here. I will never let you leave me again. But when Lao Yu woke up the next day, he discovered the dog was no longer by his side. He went into a panic, rushing out to search for him. Finally, in a small patch of woods, he found him. Erhuo was dead. It had traveled all that way back just to see its master one last time. Lao Yu buried Erhuo in his family's ancestral grave. 3 days after Erhuo passed, Xiaobai's owner came to find Lao Yu.
我怎么没看见他跟我们家小白有什么？怎么还留下种啊？你看看，个个都像他。喜欢哪个？挑一个吧。
Old Yu picked the puppy that looked most like Erhuo and took it home. That's where the story ends. This story is adapted from real events and tells of an old man and his dog relying on each other for company. For a disabled elderly person, a dog is his salvation, and for a dog, its owner is its whole world. So, if you love, please do not abandon or harm them.